and taking on the advice of people who have worked in council longer than us and using our own transferable skills, we're able to kind of, integrate that into council and kind of reshape what it is to work at council and how councils, I guess, are received.
Welcome back to the Future Makers Vodcast. I'm your host, Meha, and today we have a special guest from Georges River. Please join me in welcoming Tiana. Tiana, would you like to give us a quick introduction?
Hi guys, I'm Tiana and I work at Georges River Council as the marketing officer.
It's amazing, Tiana. So let's start off with your educational and career background and what led you to that current role.
So I finished high school and I decided not to go straight into university. I wasn't sure what I wanted to study, and I'm a New Zealander. So for me to go to university, I was going to need to pay for my studies up front. So I didn't want to waste any money or time on something I wasn't 100% sure of. So I went straight into the workforce, and I felt like that was the best way for me to kind of get an understanding of what I liked, what I didn't like, and maybe what I wanted to study. And one of the things I found out working in the private sector was that what made or broke a job I was in was the communication between the organisation and the staff. In a job where I loved, they had excellent communication with us about their values and their policies and whatnot. And so once I realised that that's what I really loved in a workplace, I started to look into that, and that's when I discovered the Bachelor of Communications. So I went to university and I studied that and I loved it. I actually just graduated this year, so yay!
Congratulations!
And so that led me to being at council. I was just looking around for communications jobs and seeing what was out there before I'd actually graduated. And then I came across the careers at council, and I was looking at what was going to be needed or required from me in those roles, and seeing that they were multi-divisional structures where I would get a huge breadth of work and working in maybe departments like environment or something that I would never really consider. That sold it for me.
I see. And how many years have you been working at council for?
I'll be coming up 2 years this year. So I feel like I'm still a baby when it comes to council. You'll work with people who have been there for like 10, 15, 20 years. And so, I'm really just at the start of my career at council.
I see. And can you briefly explain what your role entails and what your main responsibilities are?
Yeah, so as I said, I'm the marketing officer, and I work in a broader team known as City Futures, and that's made up of communications, marketing, and economic development. And so in our marketing team, our role is to create branded communication and marketing material to persuade the community and engage with them.
I see. And from that, what does a typical day in a life look like for you?
Okay, so I head into work nice and early. I like to be there when it's a little bit quieter and greet everyone as they're coming into the office. And pretty much I'll put all my stuff down first and then run and get a coffee as well. And then once I'm sat and I'm ready, I go through my emails. I actually love going through my emails, which some people don't like. It just feels very adult to me. So I'll go through my emails, I'll tackle anything that's ad hoc, get that out of the way because I know personally I'm likely to forget if I don't do it right away. And then I'll head over to our planner and I'll look at those strategic initiatives that we're working on. So something like at the moment I'm working on trying to increase the utilization of venues around the LGA. So working on stuff like that and having a look around, doing some research. And social media management is a big responsibility of mine.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the project that you're working on and the social media side of it. What do you find rewarding or enjoyable about your role?
There are so many aspects of my work that I find rewarding, and I pretty much find my whole job enjoyable, which is like rare. But one of the first things that come to mind is when we put out social media posts, we might put out something that is not quite council, and to see like a positive reception from the community is always it's always a great feeling. We recently did one at one of our events. We did a TikTok style Vox Pop where we went around one of our skate parks and we had the clinkers. I don't know if you know what they are. They're like a chocolate, and inside there's 3 different colors. And so we went around to everyone at the park and we were like, have a guess of what you think the color is, and then take a bite and then show us what you got. And we did that before Easter, and then I came back over the break and it went semi-viral for a council video. It had like 20k views, which is like awesome for us. So stuff like that's really rewarding to me when you take a risk on what council communication looks like.
The social media side of it sounds really interesting. I mean, is there a specific project or an initiative that you've been involved at council that you've really been proud of?
Yes. Yeah. There was one last year around the time of the Olympics. Our whole City Futures team worked on this together, and we pitched to the media about our event at one of our skate parks, the same skate park, and it was for the breakdancing and the skateboarding events. We had a live streaming there, and we pitched that to the media, and Sunrise actually came back to us and they were like, this is great, we'd love to be there. We're going to be there at 4:30 a.m. We need like 10 people there to like be part of the crowd. So our whole team went to the skate park at like before sunrise, and it was so much fun being able to like celebrate all our hard work, be on TV, and really like showcase Georges River as this awesome place.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a really fun and supportive work environment from what I'm hearing from you. Can you more describe like the workplace culture at council?
I find it to be one of the most positive places I've worked in. I think it's because of the nature of the work and the organizations with the hybrid working model and the flexible hours. It just breeds this positive energy. So everyone comes into work being their best selves because they're being taken care of by the organization. And so it's just a really positive culture to work in. Everyone's super respectful of each other. And also really understanding and empathetic as well, which is a great organization to work in.
Oh, that sounds really supportive. And I think when you're in an environment like that, you really tend to thrive. And I think that's why you really enjoy your role at council.
100%.
Yeah. What sort of advice would you give to someone considering a career in marketing at council?
I would say try before you buy. So I came from a cadetship, and one of the great things about councils is that they offer a lot of programs like that. So work experience when you're in high school, grad roles, cadetships, you are able to go into these positions and see what your day-to-day might look like. And so I feel like that's a really great way to be able to go in and see for yourself what it would be like before you make any big decisions.
Yeah, of course. Do you mind me asking, how was that transition from you being a cadet to a full-time role?
Yeah. So initially I was the communications cadet, and I was able to come in on a part-time basis and take on all these tasks that a communications officer would do. And one of those was social media. And then once our team expanded and we had a marketing function, the social media went over to the marketing team. And that's something I'm really passionate about. I'm super passionate about showcasing council on social media. So I applied for it. And because I had learnt so much in my cadetship, I was successful. So I was able to transition over there. And that's something that's really great about council, is that you can make those moves internally with secondments and internal promotion. So that was awesome, being able to transition over there.
Amazing. And during your cadetship, were you also balancing uni at the same time, and how was that experience like?
Yes, I was. So luckily it was a part-time position, which was great. And my workplace, they were always so understanding of any university responsibilities that I might have. But I'm super fortunate. I studied 100% online. So that was really easy, to manage the workload and the study load. So that was great, being able to go into work, be 100% focused, and then come home and watch my lectures.
Oh, that's great. And I think our final question is, how do you think young leaders can help shape the future of local government?
I think it coming from my experience, being young and working in the private industry and also growing up around social media and the internet and all these new technologies, I find that we're coming in and we're taking a little bit more risk. We're more comfortable around all these new technologies and softwares, and we're implementing them in ways that I feel like can be molded to fit council, and taking on the advice of people who have worked in council longer than us and using our own transferable skills. We're able to kind of integrate that into council and kind of reshape what it is to work at council and how councils, I guess, are received.
No, I completely agree. The importance of integrating technology within council to sort of keep up with the future. I think that's really, really important.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you, Tiana, for joining us and giving us a glimpse of your journey. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. If you did find this episode interesting, feel free to pass it along to someone who might find it enjoyable too. Once again, thanks, Tiana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.